taking a look at another Transformers figures and being put off by the Alien Queen with those horrible spines. We needed a new taste of good figures, and that's why today we're going to be taking a look at the Transformers Kingdom War for Cybertron trilogy, Waspinator. Now, Waspinator is actually a recent figure, well, not a recent figure, but a recent character that I recently discovered. And I've also been kind of addicted to Beast Wars. I haven't watched Beast Wars, but all those characters, Megatron, Black Arachnia, uh, all those characters, they look fantastic, especially that Megatron. And I recently discovered Waspinator, and I'm pretty sure he's probably one of my favorite Transformers characters ever because his voice is just so good. And also, I just love those goofy kind of characters. So when I saw this guy at Walmart, I had to pick him up. And let's just say this figure is worth it. This figure is worth every penny. Please go find it if you can, because if you don't, then you are missing out, my friend. But anyway, let's look at the box. It is a War for Cybertron trilogy packaging. We have taken a look at some War for Cybertron trilogy figures, mostly Soundwave and the Mirage figure as well. But this is the Kingdom one, and this is my first Kingdom Beast Wars kind of figure. As you can see, you got a nice picture of Waspinator in his Wasp mode with the logo there. On the side, you have Waspinator in his beautiful robot mode. On the side here, you have the golden disc, and with some more Transformers on the sides. On the back here, you got Waspinator in his robot mode and his Wasp mode. So yeah, let's talk. Well, I guess let's get right into the review, shall we? All right, let's take a look at Waspinator. And as you can see, he is in his beautiful robot mode. And just on first glance, it may look like a pile of mess because of all the wasp legs and the wings. But trust me, it does not feel like a mess. Everything in here holds together fairly well. There are no loose bits on this figure. Every joint on this figure is nice and tight, and it feels like it won't come loose anytime soon. Even the legs, which is probably the most annoying part that you can put on a Transformer figure. Even then, the joints on here the legs are even tight. So you can move them and they won't become loose. Even the wings too, even though that they are on ball joints, they are very nice and tight. Not extremely tight, mind you, but they are tight nonetheless, so they don't have to become loose. And this is probably one of the greatest robot modes I've seen. All the other robot modes that of the Transformers figures that I have, there's not one that doesn't look, a little bit great, but that it also has some flaws. But I think that this figure is probably one of the best robot modes I've ever seen. Except for Shockwave, because his Shockwave is just his robot mode is just a terrific robot mode altogether. And it's just great. So as you can see, you have, if you're not familiar with Beast Wars, Waspinator is kind of like the punching bag of the show. He would, get exploded every time, and he would have to, he would come apart every time in a couple of episodes that he's in. But what I really liked about the other Waspinator figure, Transformers Generations Waspinator, is that all of his legs and arms were actual ball joints, so you can pop him off so he looked like he just exploded. Unlike this figure, he does not have any ball joints, so you can't actually pop them off, which is kind of sad, but I can understand because they wanted to upgrade that original figure. So unlike that original figure, the head sculpt was a little bit bland in my opinion, but on this figure, that head sculpt is beautiful. I love that head sculpt. They did a perfect perfect job of recreating his head in the show, and they also upgraded it with a lot more paint detail. That head sculpt was missing a lot of paint apps, but this one has a lot more show accuracy. And as you can see, the back of his head is translucent purple plastic, so there is some light piping there, which is great. If you could take a flashlight and poke it there, trust me, I've done it. When I opened up this figure, I was like, oh my god, light piping. I took one of my flashlights and I shined it in there. The light piping on there is beautiful. And also the wings are made out of translucent plastic as well, so they are kind of light pipey. And also the wasp chest eyes right here, they are also translucent plastic as well, but they're not really light pipey because you can't really shine a light in there and make it glow. It just kind of makes the plastic just glow, but it doesn't shine through you know what I mean. And you're probably thinking, why does he have a giant wasp head on the side? Aren't you mad about that? Actually, I am not mad because it is show accuracy. I only get mad at stuff when it's not show accurate. And these legs here, these wasp legs, are not show accurate, but there's no other way you can hide these wasp's legs. And the only reason why I'm not mad about it is because everything in here fits nice together and it's not loose and it's not annoying to handle. Um, and as you can see on the back here, you have the lovely wasp abdomen here. And if you're wondering, why does he have a hole in his abdomen? Well, actually, it is a perfect segue to talk about his, I guess, only accessory that he comes with, which is his stinger blaster. And yes, his blaster is part of his abdomen. So during the transformation, you just plug that in there, and then the stinger, it will have a stinger. And the sculpting in detail on this one, it's a little bit bland in my opinion. I prefer the Transformers Generations Waspinator blaster because it actually has a flip out stinger. This one just has a tiny little pathetic excuse for a stinger, but it can fit into his hand like so. And if you don't want him to display the if you don't want him to display with the stinger, you can just plug it into his abdomen, but be warned, it is a pain to get out. If you don't have a part separator, I don't have a part separator. I literally had to pry it off with my fingernails, and that hurts. But other than that, it's a great weapon storage in my opinion, but it's just a pain to get out. And he did come with a card. This was in his box. And I don't know what this does entail, but this is a really nice card with the golden disc on the back. So apparently all the Kingdom figures come with a card, and as you can see, it is Black Arachnia. I don't know why he came with a Black Arachnia card, but he does, and it's a lovely holographic one, so that's really nice, and it's a lovely picture of Black Arachnia as well, with a little Predacon there. So I guess you can count that as an accessory. I don't, so who knows. But yeah, let's talk about articulation on this figure. So for the head, you just got a standard ball joint at the head, so it can rotate, so it's a ball joint. For arms here, you can rotate the arms 360 degrees. They can move in and out. A bicep swivel here, and a bend at the knee. Not a bend at the knee. I'm stupid. Bend at the elbow and a wrist swivel. And these wasp legs are on a swivel as well. But like I said, they're very tight, so they don't have to be, annoying. He does have a waist swivel, a really limited waist swivel, but it is a waist swivel nonetheless. The other figure did not come with a waist swivel, I believe. And then for the back here, you do have his wings, which I mentioned he does have a ball joint at the wings where it is nice. And then you can, for the legs here, he can kick that far and move back that far. And even another upgrade that they made to this figure, unlike the other one, is that the bend at the knee on the original figure was complete trash. This one, on the other hand, is a perfectly reasonable knee bend there. So you got a knee bend there. He can kick that far and move back that far, like I mentioned before. And he does have a up and down at the toe, and a lovely ankle pivot as well. Posability on this guy is a standard for deluxe class Transformers figures. They are pretty basic, but I think that I'm gonna have a lot more fun posing him than other Transformer figures, in my opinion. So, how to transform this guy into his Wasp mode? It is a pretty simple, but a little bit tough at times, especially when we get to the legs. That part is a little bit tricky. So what you want to do is that you're going to untab the torso here, and you're going to have to extend that like that. So then you're going to fold it down, and then there is a little tab right here that's going to plug into here, and that secures the head, so you can't see the head. And then, by the way, sometimes the Wasp head likes to do that. It's supposed to do that, and then you just close that back up as well. For the arms here, you're going to have to fold them like that, and twist the bicep here, so the Wasp legs can move out like so. Bend them at the elbow, and then you're going to have to turn the wrist like so. And this is going to be the trickiest part, but there are little holes here, and there are little tabs. which are just going to have to plug in, and it's going to be a pain, but you just got to work with it, and it's not the tightest, and it's not going to be the greatest fit in the world, but there you go. And then for the, just move the wings out of the way, for these legs right here, you're going to have to untab this midsection here, rotate this section around, flip this up, and then fold the these back ankle guards here, or whatever you want to call them, like so. And then then there is a little groove in there where you can see that, and that's just gonna slide in so. And then bend the knees, and then there is a tab here, and there is a little tab here, and you're just gonna have to bend it and kind of work with it. The plastic here is very tough over time, so you just got to force it. And sometimes the tab always likes to come off. Then you're just going to bend like that, bend it like so, and then this is where it gets tricky. Now, these little tabs right here are going to fit into there, and it's a little bit tough. And trust me, I had a lot of issues trying to transform these legs here, plugging them into the torso. There you go. That's the best you're going to do it. It's not going to be the tightest connection in the world. And then just flip up these feet like so, so they cover the kibble. Then, and also the arms aren't going to be the most steadiest. And then just fold these wasp legs like so. And the freaking goddamn... on. There we go. And they are supposed to connect into there, but I'm not dealing with that because it's just going to take forever and it's not going to be perfect. So yeah. Here he is in his forgot to put the stinger into his abdomen. There we go. Alright, so here is Waspinator in his wasp mode, and unlike the robot mode, this insect mode is not perfect. As you can see, the legs don't always like to tab in, and sometimes the parts don't always like to fold in, and it's really loose sometimes. Like, that is pretty loose. So unlike the robot mode, everything doesn't fit together really well. But I can forgive it because it's really hard for a company to make a Transformer figure really slim and proportionate, and to make it transform into a compact wasp insect mode. But I'm glad that they tried, even though that's not the most perfect robot wasp mode in the world. But I'm glad that they tried. But looks, however, it is very well managed. As you can see, there's quite a bit of kibble. You can see the arms there and the legs, obviously. But from looking at the side, it doesn't look too terribly bad. And sometimes the head always doesn't like to connect, but that's okay. But yeah, there's actually quite a bit of possibility for this wasp mode. As I mentioned, the ball joint at the wing, so you can get some wing poses. And then you can have and there's also a swivel at the antenna, so you can get some more antenna poses. So you can have them closer back, or you can have them spread. And the legs I mentioned, they're also on a swivel, so they can rotate. And these ones here, they can also rotate 360 degrees as well. And then there goes the leg. If you had like a flight stand or like a stand to prop him up so he looked like he can fly, that would be fantastic, because he does look pretty great in the air if you had a stand. And yeah, like I said before, it's not great. Oh, by the way, he does have his mandibles can, in fact, open and close, so that's also terrific. But this is a fantastic wasp mode, even though that it does have some flaws. And the robot mode together also is terrific as well. So this is about it for me, guys. Please pick this guy up if you can find him. He is definitely worth your money, and I'm glad that I picked him up. So hopefully you can find him. But that's about it for me, guys. Hope you guys liked it. Like, comment, subscribe. I don't care what you do, but you guys know what time it is. So, bye, guys.